Hi there and welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Have you had an opportunity to subscribe to the channel yet? If not, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. Misinformation is something that happens all the time, but we don't really necessarily pay attention to it as much as we do when the US elections are happening. It's been happening for years and years and years, but when we really started hearing about it was in 2016 when the election in the US started with Trump and the Russia scandal. But the misinformation, despite us being aware that it exists, is running rapid right now with the election coming up. So many stories are flying that are untrue from both parties, let's face facts, and who knows where they're coming from. It could be Russia, it could be China, it could be anywhere. But the reality is, it's our responsibility to really weed through the truth and the fake news. So if we see a story on Facebook or on Twitter, we need to do some research on our own to dig deep into the facts. Looking at credible websites, and I'm not talking about CNN or Fox News or any of the left or right side media. I'm talking about factual things. So if it's talking about something about stats in healthcare in the US, look at some credible healthcare websites where the government is providing the stats. No matter what one party or the other wants you to believe, they're going to try and sway the story. I saw one recently, and Trump was at a rally, and he was talking about Hunter Biden again, of course, and how Joe Biden was involved in the scandal. And he had all of these emails that he was going to bring to light. Because this apparently somebody, and of course I'm not going to name names, but according to them, somebody on the Trump campaign dropped off. No, my apologies. Let me get see, this is misinformation. Somebody who appeared to be Hunter Biden took in a computer with a hard drive to get the information taken off the hard drive. And this computer store guy was trying to take it to another server and saw some of the information, and apparently there was these scandalous emails that were going to get Hunter Biden in trouble. And one of Trump's campaign people got a hold of it and all those stories, and these emails are going to blow your mind and show you why Joe Biden should be president. The reality is, it wasn't Hunter Biden. It was somebody else. Are the emails true or not? We don't know. The reality is, no matter what it is, they're always going to try to find a scandal to make the other party look bad. The whole thing with Trump and COVID-19, that's going to be the spin the Democrats are going to take. So either party is going to have misinformation. But let's talk about misinformation in everyday life. It happens on social media. It happens amongst friends and family when somebody relays a story that isn't 100% accurate. It may start off the right story, but then people interpret it in their own way and hear what they want to hear and pass that along. And all of a sudden, it's almost like that game of telephone we used to play as children. You start off with a message, and by the time you get around the circle, it's totally different. We have to be really careful when it comes to misinformation when making judgment calls or decisions as big as who to vote for. But also, it can hurt you when you're going for a job interview if you don't have your facts straight about a company because of misinformation. So how do we avoid getting caught in the trap of misinformation? Well, definitely checking out multiple sources of information to make sure that the story checks out, that it's credible, and that you have facts to back up what you're saying. I remember having an interview one time with a person coming to want to work with me for my business at the time, and they were telling me all these things they knew about my business and blah, blah, blah. None of them were true. And so I had to ask them, where did you find out this information? Where did you get your research from? Oh, well, I did. And they started to tell me all these really interesting sources they used. The best way is to go to the website of the workplace that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a job, go to their website that they've created. They're going to put out the accurate truth about the company. Talk to people that work at the company. Also research reviews on the company. Because remember what they say, there's 3 sides to every story. His, hers, and somewhere in between is truth. That is the reality in everything in life. Have you seen misinformation lately coming up to the election? Have you caught yourself believing it? Or have you questioned it and gone to a different source? How do you take in misinformation? And how does it affect us? The US has a big decision to make on November 3rd. And it is going to affect the rest of the world. Unfortunately, there's countries that have ulterior motives and want us to believe the misinformation. So they're going to do anything possible to make as much information come to our news feeds to get us to make a decision that may not be accurate. So if you're in the US and you have the right to vote, I encourage you to definitely do your research from multiple sources. Watch the debates, listen to what's being said, and read between the lines and make a decision that's going to help your country flourish. I'm not going to tell you which way is right or wrong. That's your decision. Because know that whatever decision you make will impact you for the next 4 years and possibly longer for the repercussions of what a leader will do. For those of us in Canada and worldwide, all we can do at this point is sit and watch, see what happens, and hope that it's going to be a decision that will help all of us involved. Because the big decisions the US make do affect other countries. Let's put a stop to misinformation. So if you see something that is not true, don't share it. Don't pass it along. Don't claim that it's truth. And don't talk about it if you don't know the facts. And that's the same in everyday life. If you hear something from a friend or a family member, check the source. Make sure it's true before you start gossiping about it. Because misinformation can hurt and really do serious damage. Until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share, and we'll see you next time.